We want to continue the conversation and discuss the state of the presidential race tonight with Newsbusters managing editor Curtis Houck and former senior counsel at the EPA, Samantha Dravis. Samantha, let me begin with you. I want to share this presidential preference among Hispanic voters. A lot of people really curious about how well or how poorly the race may go for the existing vice president in particular. As we take a look at the numbers, you see right now at 57, give or take, to 37 in Arizona and 56 to 39 in Nevada. Now, at first blush, you may say, yeah, it looks pretty fine. But if you really drill down, that's a real warning sign, I imagine, for Kamala Harris.
Well, it is, because there has been a trend since 2016 of Republicans gaining more support with Latino voters. But right now, Harris is well behind where Biden was in 2020 with Latino voters. Latino population obviously significant in Arizona and Nevada. I actually saw a USA Today poll that showed that Latino men under the age of 49, Trump is leading by 13 points.
Wow.
So these core Democrat constituencies, Harris is underperforming. She's not going to get there with the way things look right now.
You know what? Speaking of that, I want to share this, Curtis, to get you to weigh in on it. This actually will take us back to 2020, which Samantha just referenced. This is the voter analysis, Latino or Hispanics. Biden, 63 to 35 over the former president. And I think this speaks to this greater trend, especially if you go all the way back to 2012. If you're a Democrat and you're looking at how they're faring with Hispanic voters, this has got to be deeply troubling.
Yeah, they're hemorrhaging Hispanic support. I mean, the media, we see this from our perspective at Newsbusters, and this is reflected, I guess, in the campaign messaging. They're really desperate. You know, you see this very similarly with black men, with Barack Obama being brought in, and it's almost a shaming. Instead of grappling with the fact that Hispanics aren't a monolith and they're concerned about many of the same things that other Americans are concerned about: jobs, border security, crime, education, fallout from COVID, you name it. You go on down the list, and that's why the left, I think, wants to debate this election on other issues, particularly January 6th, abortion, you name it, their issues. They want to fight on their turf instead of things that are popular, you know, with the American people.
Right. You nailed it. I think you make a really good point. Let me follow up and ask you about why you think this trend is shifting so dramatically, Samantha, because Curtis really talked about some real issues, and yet at the same time, when I look at the tabs and the breakouts, they are not buying what Kamala Harris in particular seems to be selling.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I think the top two issues still for all voters are the economy and immigration. I think legal immigrants in particular are outraged by the illegal immigration crisis that they've seen under the Biden-Harris administration. You know, they're not buying what she's selling. She's changed her substantive position on almost every single important policy issue. I think she's coming off as disingenuous and dishonest, and that's coming through in the polling.
You know, I'm so glad you mentioned the idea that legal immigrants have a real problem with what's happening down at the border right now. I know many, and they are furious. They feel like this is deeply unfair. Very quickly, I want to share a quick soundbite. This is the DNC, Curtis, actually making a six-figure ad buy in many of the swing states. Listen, and then I'll tell you why and who this is about.
Stein was key to Trump's 2016 wins in battleground states. She's not sorry she helped Trump win. That's why a vote for Stein is really a vote for Trump.
First time we've seen them issue a sort of a real challenge to a third-party candidate in this way. I've never seen this happen, certainly not to this level. 45 seconds, Curtis.
Yeah, I mean, this is the same thing we see with Hillary Clinton talking about censorship. They're talking about Jill Stein again.
Yeah.
Like, we're never going to get over 2016, are we? You know, we as a country, we talk about 2020. 2016 is the one election that nobody really seems ready to move on from. Barack Obama still relitigating 2016 as well. That's what, between this and the men ad that we played at the beginning of the show, this was some of the creepiest ads I've seen. I mean, which side is weird? You know, the left's talking about J.D. Vance being weird. This is some weird stuff.
You know, I would love to get you to weigh in more on this, Samantha, but I don't want to cheat you out of your time. But I will just note that in watching that ad that we just saw there, the men for the vice president was, well, let's just call it unique. And I'm wondering, will that resonate with women, do you think?
No, I don't think it will. I think that this campaign is willing to do anything except take responsibility for the policies that the voters don't like and that aren't resonating with them. So, you know, it just goes back to their identity politics that this party is based around, and they don't want to accept that that's not really working anymore.
I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. Samantha Dravis, Curtis Houck, folks, thank you so much tonight.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.